To order the May meeting for 2025 of the Ann Arbor Independent Community Police Oversight Commission. Ms. Cummins, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Chair Carter.
Here.
Vice Chair Offman.
Here.
Commissioner Milgrams.
Here.
Commissioner Pipkins.
Here.
Commissioner Francis.
Here.
Commissioner Liu.
Here.
Commissioner Manley.
Here.
Commissioner Cooper. Commissioner Haynes. Commissioner Green. Commissioner Billups. Councilmember Iyer. Councilmember Harrison. We have a quorum.
Thank you. I understand Commissioner Billups is on his way and caught in traffic, and Commissioner Haynes reported that she was not going to be able to come tonight. Next is approval of the agenda. Would everyone please take a look? I think maybe you have already. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Thank you.
Then I second it.
I'll leave it.
That's okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Now can we have a motion to approve the minutes from our April 2025 meeting?
I move to approve the minutes.
Thank you. Is there a second? Second. Any comments, corrections, or additions? All in favor of approving the minutes from April's meeting?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Thank you. Okay. We have 3 minutes for public comment.
Commissioner Billups is present.
Commissioner Billups is coming in. Thank you.
Sorry I'm late.
Thank you.
What's up, people? I went upstairs.
Oh,
Nobody's up here. My phone is dead. I'm like, what the heck? Thank God for those big screens.
okay. So we don't have anybody on the phone.
At this time, we have no one on for public comment.
You know, we invite the public to come or call in, tell us what you think about what we're doing, what we're not doing, what you think, and this is the time to do that. All right, we're going to move on to a report from the chair. First of all, I want to acknowledge that last Sunday was 5 years from the murder of George Floyd. And at that time, if you remember, millions of people protested across the country and really around the world. There has been as we all know, attempts to reform policing, and some have been successful and some not. As you probably are aware, a lot of the changes and promises that were made as a result of Mr. Floyd's death, people are reneging. They're going back. Diversity has become a bad word. Equity. How can anybody not want equity? I don't understand. But we'll see. Things are cyclical a lot of times, and I'm hoping that this cycles out as quickly as possible. So that's just the first thing I wanted to say. The second is to report about our symposium. And I think it was just lovely. I got a lot of good feedback. There's the chief. I want to thank Chief Anderson for working with us to pull that off. Most every seat was filled. We did have the recruits there, and that's a good thing. And some of the command staff were just happy with the turnout. I had someone tell me they had the address and they drove around and couldn't find it. And it was raining, but with everything happening, I think it was a very, very nice program. And anybody else want to? I want to thank Commissioner Francis for the initiative and putting it together as she did, and everyone that participated. I want to thank Commissioner Billups for being on the panel. I've had a lot of good feedback from the community. People are interested, and I want to keep up that interest. So I want to circle back around to this, but let me just say, we have been asked to move our June meeting from council chambers again to this room. Now, I don't have any problem with that, generally speaking, but I don't want to, that will be the third month that we've been asked to move our regular meeting place. And I don't think that's necessarily a good idea, that folks think they can just move us around. Maybe I'm sensitive, I don't know. But that's sort of in line with what I had been thinking in terms of having our June meeting someplace else other than City Hall. We have had meetings outside. Those are very nice, weather permitting. And so there's always a chance that weather's not going to permit. I had thought maybe of having a meeting in the library. And I had thought about starting to have a speaker come to our meetings and give us, I know several people said they were really interested in Professor Karpiak's history of police. So I'd like to ask him to come to one of our meetings, talk for an hour, and invite the public. We always invite the public, but publicize it so that people know to come. And maybe start that off with our June meeting, trying to get someone to come in and speak and have it at the library. What do you all think about, number one, we can have it here in the basement, and agree to give up the council chambers for a third month. We can have it outside, we can have it...
I think you're leading the witness. I think you're leading the witness.
Am I leading the witness? All right, I'm going to stop. What do you all think? The floor is open, commissioners. Commissioner Milgram.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to make it, so it's not anything personal with me, but I think it's a great idea. I would, I like it a lot when we have a crowd, and when it feels like, the public's involved. And every time we've done it, it's felt good. And so the more we can do it, the better. And so unfortunately, I won't be here for June, wherever it is. But I think the idea of having it at a library where we've had good attendance, or outside, or have the library as an alternative if it's not nice weather. Although, I guess I'll say the outside can be a little bit iffy because people don't hear as well. It doesn't feel as intimate. So maybe that's not the best setting for an actual meeting where you want people to hear and to participate. So.
Yeah, I think the setup might be a little more difficult if we're going to have it recorded. And we have had more people in the library than outside. Outside, for some reason. What's that little park downtown that we had a meeting one time?
Liberty Plaza.
At Liberty Plaza, we had a pretty good...
We had one at the farmer's market.
Farmers market.
We had one at the farmer's market.
Park.
Which one?
Burns Park.
Yeah, and also at Bird Park, I think.
Bird Park.
Yeah.
Can I just say, I'm not going to be on the commission, but after tonight, but this room historically, I know it's a pushback about being out of the chambers, but at one point, this room was actually preferred more than the upstairs because the fact that it's closer, more intimate than the upstairs room. So we might be upset with the fact that we've been moved around. There has been some pluses to this specific room. So.
Thank you. I'm not upset.
Yeah.
I just don't want to set a precedent.
Right.
And one of the commissioners did mention to me last month that they liked it down here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's totally your pleasure. Commissioner Manley.
I think having a speaker at the meetings would be a great idea. I'm not so much for the outside because, like you said, it could rain. but the hearing, depending on, sometimes the microphone, they don't carry or you lose it or something. So I don't know. I have not been to one outside, but I'm just talking. But I think having a speaker is great. My only concern with if you want to get a lot of public people in here, this is not a big room. I mean, but there's still chairs around. But I was just thinking that depending on how many people would come, I might be concerned about space.
Okay, and I think June, we're off July and August, so it would be nice to have a different kind of meeting. And really, I think some of the officers might want to come to something that was the history of policing. You all probably studied it in the academy, but I thought it was interesting. So I would really I'm going to ask him to speak to the commission and invite the public. So if 2 or 3 people come, fine. That's sort of my idea. So any other thoughts?
I think the library is a good idea in general. If we can move to different branches and they're all fairly accessible, bus lines and all that. In general, like especially in the turmoil that we're living in right now, libraries are sort of one of the last, democratic spaces where we share resources and it's open to everybody. So I think that's always a plus.
Okay. All right, well, I'm going to get with Ms. Cummins this week, and we'll see if we can secure the library for our June meeting. And I'll see if I can get somebody interesting to come and talk, and we'll try and get some publicity out.
Let me know how it can help.
One thing that I didn't suggest that we do, and I'm sorry I didn't. We didn't have a sheet where people could sign up to be on our mailing list, did we?
Mm-hmm.
We did. What?
It's over there.
Oh, it's over there.
Last week it was out. Yeah, that's all last week. It was in the back at the survey table.
Okay. So that's going to be incorporated into our email list.
Yes, if there was anybody who, but there wasn't.
Okay.
But
I didn't even know about it.
yeah,
And I didn't think about it. I would have.
Announced it wherever.
Yeah.
because we did say when the comment cards were turned in, we had the annual report, the driving equality cards, and the sign-up sheet back there while people were mingling at the beginning.
Okay, thank you. Just so everyone knows, it was pointed out to me that there was a mistake in our annual report. And so I'm going to be asking Ms. Cummings to do a corrected page. We very carefully looked at the wording. One of the pie charts, that as everybody knows, is supposed to all the pie pieces are supposed to equal 100%. It was more than 100%. So our numbers were off. So we're going to do a corrected page. And if anybody points that out to you, tell them we already know, thank you very much, and a corrected page is going to be sent out. Okay, thank you. Next, Vice Chair Hoffman and I have been talking. Now today is the day you're supposed to select your chair and vice chair for the coming year. Both of us are available if you'd like to have us serve again for the next year. However, after the next year, I'll be going off. That's my last year. And Commissioner Hoffman is not available to take on the chair. So we've been thinking about succession planning. And we'd like you, I thought about something like a second vice chair or something to work along with us the coming year. It was pointed out to me, however, that there's only 2 officers in our bylaws, and we'd have to change that in order to add. So what we've come up with, I want to propose, is another committee, which would be a planning committee, succession committee, whatever we want to call it, to work along with the two of us, assuming we are selected for your officers for your next year. If there's someone who wishes to work along in the leadership and with the leadership and take over leadership after this year, we're going to invite you to join the planning committee. And we also are going to be doing some planning. Like when we talk about next year, starting in September, we do want to have some speakers and we want input. There's also, in our bylaws, we can ask community members to join our committees. So I'm putting that out there. If you know anybody who wants to work along with us, we will probably have some kind of get-together planning meeting in the summer. So we'll be ready to start. But please think about that because that's something we need to do. Okay, any comments? Okay, I'm going to move along. We have 2 events coming up. Yes, ma'am.
The chair and vice chair election, did you still want to do that, or?
I thought it was under old or new business.
Old business.
Old business.
Okay.
Okay, the selection of your chair and vice chair for the coming year will be under old business, if that's okay with everybody. 2 events coming up. We're going to have a table at the Juneteenth, and we're going to share that table with the Human Rights Commission and the Commission on Disabilities. We're having a sign printed up. I know Commissioner Pipkin joined us last year, Juneteenth. It's really a fun day. And so we need folks to sit at that table for a little while. Now, I'll be there pretty much. It's the Saturday, the 14th is Juneteenth. And it's at Wheeler Park. Lovely, lovely day. I even did the cakewalk last year. Didn't win a cake, but it was a lot of fun. So please think about that. I'm going to be sending out an email begging for folks to sit at the table. And we are also going to have a table sharing with the other 2 commissions at the Downtown African American Festival. Now that is June 7th. So that's the 7th and the 14th, Saturdays. So look at your calendar. Maybe you can give us more than an hour or 2 on one of those Saturdays to sit at the table. People like to come and pick up whatever we have at the table, and we'll probably have some candy or something to draw people in. And so those are 2 events coming up. Next, I just wanted to acknowledge that one of the founding members of the task force that put ICPOC together, Ms. Shirley Beckley, passed last month. And we certainly wanted to honor her for her community work for many, many years. And maybe we'll put something together in honor of her in the coming year. That's something the planning committee hopefully can take a look at. I was at a council meeting several months ago, and said something about how we are interested in affordable housing in the city of Ann Arbor, so that our police officers can live in the city of Ann Arbor. And a lady from the Ann Arbor Community Land Trust spoke to me after the meeting and said she was interested in talking to me. And I heard from her last week. She says she's pleased to report that the Ann Arbor Community Land Trust is moving forward with the development of 24 new homes soon. And with the support from the city, they hope to scale up quickly. We did not have any police department employees apply for the first lottery for the 24 homes. And she'd like to make sure that they are informed of the future opportunities. So that's something that's on the radar. And we'd like to have the officers live here where they work. Okay, and I have her information if anybody wants to contact me about that. Lastly, I know you're glad I'm finished, but lastly, is a sad, sad thing that I have to do right now. But I'm going to do it anyway because I must. We are losing one of our original commissioners, Commissioner Bonnie Billups. And I know, we just appreciate him so much. You know, Commissioner Billups is head of the Peace Neighborhood Center, and just recently they opened the hub in Ypsilanti, which is I've just seen pictures. I haven't been in it yet, but it's a beautiful facility that's going to be a blessing to that community. And I know he's busy. We can't keep him anyway. But I just wanted to say to Commissioner Billups, we're going to present him just with a not a plaque, it's an award, a certificate. And it says, this certificate is awarded to honor your dedication and leadership during your 2 terms of service. Your thoughtful contributions, advocacy for transparency, and commitment to community engagement have been instrumental in advancing the mission of equitable and accountable policing in the city of Ann Arbor. We wish you well and we thank you very much.
Well,
God
thank you very
bless.
much. Thank you. Appreciate you. All right.
Thank you.
I don't need to say anything, or do I?
Yes, you
All right. Yeah, well, I'm appreciative of this certificate. I'm appreciative of thinking about all the work that's happened by all the commissioners since the beginning of this commission. And I just want you to know that sometimes it seems like we haven't made a lot of progress, but we have. I think at the symposium I talked about the relationship that at the very beginning was very rocky between the commission and sworn officers, and how we started to bridge that gap. And I think that this commission continues to have a role to be able to bring the greater community and the policing community together for understanding, to be able to give insight to the police department about what the community is thinking, but to also be that hand that says, hey, these policies or this thing might need to be changed and looked at. And to be that bridge for understanding. There's not a lot of communities that have that kind of a group like this, that is that bridge. And so I've been honored to be on this commission, and I will still be watching. I will still be involved. Just because I'm going off the commission does not mean that I don't still have and I will continue to have a vested interest in these concerns. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Thank you, and that is the chair report for this evening. Next on the agenda, old business. Okay, let's how do we do this? Would anyone like to, yes, ma'am.
I would like to make a motion.
Okay.
I move that Commissioner Carter rather, and Commissioner, I don't know how to say your last name. Hoffman, continue for this next year, and that this committee that's going to form be able to follow them, learn from them, and be ready for somebody in that committee to move up.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion?
I guess I had a question about that. Was it your intention in suggesting this committee that somebody on the committee would actually roll up, or is the committee also like a kind of a search committee as well to identify others?
The answer is yes to all that.
Yeah.
So it could be either or.
Yeah,
Oh, both.
the initial talk was to establish something called chair leadership committee. And depending on the availability of any of the commissioners, because it's a bit involved, there'll be a few meetings and all these things, and some people might or might not be able to be part of that. So be open to someone who might have the time to be part of it, and also to learn the ins and outs of what the chair vice chair are doing. And if there is something, who knows what happens if someone steps down, that person would be in a position to just move on, just step in and take charge of the position. We would like to have it early, so by the time anyone leaves or stays or whatever, the other person or persons would have more of experience. And it's basically open to any of the commissioners who might feel that they can be part of this small team.
And we're not talking about, I'm envisioning maybe a lunch sometime after our June meeting, ordering some sandwiches and just talk about where we go from here.
And also, what we have is chair, vice chair, we have our standing monthly meeting, a Zoom meeting. And we discuss different issues and what is going to be discussed in our meetings, and other ideas that might come from the community, or somebody might send us a notice or so, email, or maybe read something in the paper, or maybe there is a seminar, or there is a function, event. All these things are part of what we discuss in our meetings. The other thing we also need is really to reach out to the community to recruit members to serve on this commission, because we are going to be losing some members, and we don't want to have the situation where you are trying to find the sixth person to form to compose a meeting, or to have a quorum. I think so far we were doing fine, because even when we had 5 commissioners did not show up, still we had quorum. So this is why I'd like to have the community involved.
Yeah. And succession planning, as far as I'm concerned, is an important part of any organization's ability to stay current and to not, when leadership changes, because people will roll off, that this commission doesn't step backwards. So I think it's thoughtful to be able to say what is a path to getting people to understand what are the outside things outside of this meeting that the chair and vice chair do, so that in case there is, or when there is, not in case, when there is the next change of leadership, that leadership has gotten some experience with understanding where we're at, and they're not just coming in blindly. So that's one reason why I support it.
Thank you. And as Commissioner Hoffman says, we have a meeting on Zoom the week before our commission meeting, which is during the day, but if somebody has a job and they want to be on that committee, we can look at changing the time. We're flexible. But we'd like some other voices and some other people to be involved and see all the meetings that we go to, and you'd be invited to attend those. So, okay, we have a motion and a second. I believe the motion is to have myself continue as chair, Commissioner Hoffman to continue as vice chair for the next year, and for us to constitute a leadership committee?
Leadership committee. You could call it the chair leadership committee, because you can have that.
Thank you.
It's chair, you know.
All right. All right. Let's, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Okay, any other old business? Any new business? Okay, we're going to move on to report from committees. Policy committee, how are we doing?
So I have a brief update here. Commissioner Liu and I were just talking about it, and it's an idea brought by her. So maybe, do you want to address it, or would you like me to discuss? You want me to? Just the idea that I think we're getting to a point, or at least Commissioner Liu thinks so, where we can put together at least, have, I don't know if interim report is probably too highfalutin a term for it, but to have a few things that we've identified in some of the policies we've reviewed, and to put them into some formalized thing. And I think probably, we didn't talk about this part, probably bring it first to the commission to discuss, and then Commissioner Liu's idea was that we could then have set up a meeting, interim meeting, so that we don't just wait until we've gone through all the policies, and then have some huge. And it probably wouldn't be that huge, but there's no reason to wait till the end. We can sort of piece this out. So we're getting to the point where Commissioner Liu and I will meet, and we'll put something together, and I think we should bring it to the commission first in some form, and then try to set up a meeting with you folks. So that's in essence. Is there anything you wanted to amend or add?
No.
Okay, good. We appreciate your work, and maybe that interim report, or whatever you want to call it, if you can have it ready for us for June, and then the commission can vote on it, and then we can set up something with the department. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I know it's a lot of work that has gone into that, a lot of policies. Okay, thank you. Training committee, that's Commissioner Haynes. I don't know if anybody's working with her. I know that we reported last month that we had a training session, and we're able to use it's not AI, what is it, VR? VI stands for
VR, virtual reality.
virtual reality.
Yeah.
And we did some shooting, and we have
Some of us did some shooting.
we have talked about trying to put together a community policing session where we can have people come in and see what kind of training our officers are receiving. So that's something in the works that hopefully this leadership committee can look at. Okay, outreach committee.
So, I just want to thank everybody for your support and hard work with the Jude Walton Memorial Social Justice Symposium. It was our first, and hopefully first of many. I can't say enough. I didn't realize how nervous I was about it until the day of. And then the day after, when I woke up, I was like, whoa. But I received a lot of good feedback as well. I think the most heartening aspect was that people stayed afterwards. We were there for a while, and people stayed after. Most people did, to talk to each other and engage with each other, and that's really the whole point. It's just to get conversations going and make connections, to understand each other better. So I was really, really excited for that. And I want to thank Chair Carter, Commissioner Billups, Chief, for participating in the actual event. I think it went really well. And I just want to acknowledge both Commissioner Billups and Councilperson Harrison shared, some pretty personal and poignant experiences with, a group of strangers. And I just want to commend both of them for their bravery and openness and transparency. And I think that's, it helps us connect with other people. It helps, I think, form empathy and compassion for each other, because we may not have all experienced the same, we all have our own experiences and they're all different, but I think most of us have experienced hurt and fear and loss, and we can connect on that. And I think that's helpful in, having productive conversations about tough topics. You understand that people have different investments, there's different stakes for different individuals, different vulnerabilities, and I couldn't have asked for, I could see the change in people. When you spoke, when Councilperson Harrison spoke, I could see a shift, like a body shift, and conversations shift, and understanding shift. And I think that can take us from, if we're coming at two different sides of an issue, that can take us from being opponents to being just two people discussing how to make things better, and realizing that we all have hurt that we carry with us. And I think, you've mentioned it, Chair Carter, when you were talking, that there's a lot of hurt, and we have to acknowledge that and keep moving forward and trying to do better. So thank you, everybody, so much. It was great to see everybody there. You all calmed me and my nerves just to see friendly faces. Hopefully I'm looking forward to next year's as well.
Well, we thank you so much. As I think everybody knows, there was some, I don't know what to call it. There was some opposition to the symposium, and we thought maybe people would protest outside or something. It was raining, maybe that kept them away, I don't know. And we thought maybe somebody would come to our meeting and speak up, but that's sort of the way that we would like to operate. If there's something that they suggested that we cancel this symposium, and we said no, we're going forward with it, and that was, I think, the right thing to do. Again, we invite people with differing opinions. Maybe you think ICPOC should be doing something else. We are not into defunding the police. So if you want to come and talk about it, you've got 3 minutes before our meeting.
And I actually, in the days leading up, once we received the petition, I had the ability to reach out to a couple of the signees, because I'm indirectly connected to them, and have conversations with them to better understand where they were coming from. And it was just that. It was a petition from folks who are in support of abolishing the police altogether. And we ended up having actually very productive conversations, but nobody at the end of the day moved from their ultimate position. The line was, one of the folks who we were talking to said, "I'm sorry, that's my line. I understand where you're coming from. This is my line. I can't cross it." I said, "We understand, and thank you." And in those moments, we invited them. So please do come and say your piece. This is the point of this. They opted out and acknowledged, we won't be protesting, because we realize that it's for, in honor of, being named for somebody as well, and we don't want to cause harm. So again, we're kind of we have similar feelings and beliefs, but we believe in two different ways of acting to fix these problems. And it was just, again, another example of we don't have to quiet each other down. We can just kind of talk through this and disagree at the end if that's what it's going to be. So all's well that ends well, I guess.
I think it's important to hear each other. I think it's part of civility of discussing and exchanging ideas and all these things. They might influence us, they might not, they might influence them. If not, I think it's the notion of either or my way or highway. I think this is something that is not something that would lead to coalesce of efforts and make something happen out of that. I think the issues are very complex, and I wish it were like in math and you just or chemical equation where you can balance both sides. It does not work that way. I think having issues with the police is fine, but you need to indicate what are the issues that you would like the police to work on, improve the relationships, build the trust with the community, versus I don't want it to be there. Well, if you don't want them to be there, if you're going to be in a situation that you need some help, where are you going to go to? You know, even people, God sent messengers to people to help them out. And if we're left to people to do their own things, we would be living in a jungle. And it's the survival of the fittest. I think we need to be quite practical, but we can also, from that sense, make changes. And we can make changes not by confronting the issue, by working with that. And that takes time. We seem to be like Wall Street. We have to show how your portfolio is working every day. No, we have to have a long stamina. It's not sprinter. It's a marathon. And it's going to be painful. But the outcome would be probably quite beneficial to everyone.
Good. And I think part of the folks who were opposed to this symposium, well, I don't know. It was said to me, well, you know, Jude's family didn't even want the symposium named after her. And Commissioner Francis talked to the family, and they were supportive. So, you know, there's a lot of rumors going around, but we worked it out. I think for the better. And we can, probably in June, we're going to try and report. We did have expenditures for the symposium. We paid to have the speaker come in, and the refreshments were donated. I know, a lot of food. And I just have to publicly thank Washtenaw Community College. It was a lovely venue. Do you know the name of the woman who runs the cadet program?
No, it was amazing.
Not cadet program.
The police academy?
The police academy.
Yeah. Kennedy, you're right. Her name is Joyce. Or
I don't want to put anybody on the spot because I'm going to send an email to the chief.
I can't remember right now. But
Yeah. Well, you know,
Joyce Nielsen.
what is it?
Joyce Nielsen.
So we're going to send her Neil. Do you know?
Nelson.
Nelson. Okay, thank you. But it was just lovely. We appreciated all of the contributions to the symposium. It was great. Okay, any other comments about the symposium before we move on? And thank you all for coming. Okay, information managers. Vice Chair Hoffman.
Not much of reporting, just a few things. We got, I think, today an email from President Turley that they have included in their they looked at recommendations, and so now everything for 2025 complaints, they have the response to the recommendations. And that is really good. I did not have a chance to look at, but I would do that. I think we got maybe one new complaint. We did not have that, number 16, isn't it? Yeah. So there was one complaint that we received, and I think passed to APD. When they are done, we'll review that. The other thing is I would remind the commissioners that Nicole is having a webinar June 12th. That will be Thursday from 2:30 to 4 o'clock. And it's $25 for members. And Ms. Cummings can register anyone who would like to attend. It's on the name of the webinar is the New World of Artificial Intelligence Opportunities for Civilian Oversight Practitioners. Whatever artificial intelligence is doing with policing, with what we can learn from that, just to have that type of information. So that would be on the 12th of June.
That's a Thursday, you said?
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah, between 2:30 to 4 o'clock. I think they do 1 hour of presentation and half an hour of kind of discussion. Anyone who wants to attend that webinar, please check with Ms. Cummings. The other thing I would like to say is Commissioner Billups is my personal feeling is I carry a great deal of regard and admiration to Commissioner Billups for what he's doing, and also our journey together. And I remember our first meeting that we took the elevator up to the second floor to the chamber, and we were together and we introduced each other. And he's your fuzzy teddy bear kind of warm person, and he has been and was supportive of all our efforts at the time when we went through COVID, we went through all the really trials and tribulations of moving this commission together, opened the center for us for our meetings with the members of the APD, the rank and file, and with the representatives, the union representatives. So that was really nice just from his part. Plus we had quite a number of meetings over there. And even one time we had a photo for all of us. And so I myself can't thank you enough for your work and for what you're going through. We wish you the best leadership in the institution that you're leading, and for the folks that you are helping. This is really speaks a ton about your work, and we'd like to acknowledge that too.
Well, thank you. It's been an honor and privilege working with you, Mohammed. So just know that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. So just to reiterate, this was a recommendation. I think it was Commissioner Pipkins. I'm not sure, but when we send our reports in after we have reviewed the complaints, and we send in often there's a recommendation, not all the time, but then what? And I think the suggestion was that we ask the department to respond when we do make a recommendation, and that has happened. So that now when we recommend something, they will respond to our recommendation. Won't guarantee that it's going to be positive, but they'll respond. So thank you for that.
Yeah, I think it's really important that the process is evolving, and the more we go through it, the more it becomes clear. So this is why part of our shared leadership committee is to have everything in place. So we don't have to really reinvent the wheel or go back and try to find things. It's just it's like you know how to ride a bike, and you get one and you move forward. There's a little bit of training, but I don't think there will be any kind of wasting time to moving forward.
And we're trying to set up processes, and hopefully we'll continue to do that. I would like to ask Ms. Cummins to register me for this NACOL. AI is something I don't know anything about.
Can you send me an email?
Huh?
Will you send me an email tomorrow?
Yes, ma'am. I will do that. And if anybody, that's a Thursday afternoon, an hour and a half, you need to know about AI. I wrote it down when you said AI because I need to know about that.
Just shoot me an email and I'll put you registered.
Good, thank you. Okay. Next on our agenda is a city council update. We don't have our liaisons here with us today. Any communications? One thing I think, we're pretty good at efficiency, and we can go through our meeting in an hour, sometimes hour and a half, which is one of the reasons I think it would be good to have a speaker come, so we can learn while we meet. Okay. Anything else? Any other announcements, communications that anyone would like to tell us about? If not, it is 7 o'clock, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second. I wanted to move it, but Randy got it first.
All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? The meeting's adjourned. Thank you all.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Yeah,
I'm happy I got to
yeah, working with you.